Hi, everyone. Um, I'm going to start with the traditional can you hear me? Because I've been having lovely sound issues every time in the last few weeks. So let me know if you can hear me, and I will say hello anyways. Um, and welcome. Thank you for joining me. I really hope you can hear me. Yes. Awesome. Hi, Sue. Hi, Arcala. Thank you so much for letting me know. It's considering the last few weeks, it's kind of a miracle that I'm starting with the sound working okay. So yay, yay for that. So today we're taking a bit of a break from my mini mansion that we're slowly building. Growing a mansion, that's weird. And we are going to work with the lovely Tim Holtz set. This one. Let me see. I found a new interface that, yay, look, you can see me, but you can also see a pretty big table. Hey, Carmen. Thanks for joining me. So we're gonna work with these dies. I keep them in this Tonic Studios dice storage. That's the word I was looking for. Storage pencils. So I have like the whole set here. I even had place to add the two sets for the tiny houses, the paper village. So we have all the dies here. I have already cut most of the the village collection is so much fun. Now, I did want to say a few words maybe about the dies themselves. So I know, or words in the street, words in the web is that some people find this set kind of confusing and intimidating. And I've realized that I think that's, if you had the dwelling sets, the big dies from before. Hey, Vina. Drop by, but I did have to rewatch that. Oh, don't worry about it. That's why it's there. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. So yeah, if you had the dwelling dies, the big dies from before, then they came out like one after the other in separate kind of. So you got the first one, and then you had an add-on, and then you had another add-on, and you kind of got to know the sets and the dies and to work with it. But if you didn't have it before and you're just getting this set, then yes, there's a ton of dies, a ton of options, and I guess that it can be a little bit intimidating. And I hope that maybe if some of you that are watching it have found these dies a little bit intimidating, I can help with that. I will say I am not the best for like simple options. If you followed me for a bit, or if you've been on the stream, you know that I love details, and I don't do quick projects. I will not say that my methods of making my way of making the houses, I don't think it's necessarily complicated, but it definitely takes time. But I feel like it's worth it. So I hope that even if you don't feel like spending a ton of time building tiny houses and you don't want to use my system, you would still find some tips and tricks or something that'll be interesting and fun. And let me know what your tricks are. I want to know those too. Haha. So I have decided what I'm going to build, and one of the things that I have done, in order to because you have so many options and like deciding what parts you want to use. One of the things that I did was just basically cut all the kind of bases in. That's going to be a bit of a mess. Just a sec. I just cut all of the bases from just very used cardstock from before that I was using. And then, when I can just play around with it. I can just say, okay, I want to use this house, say, and kind of add parts and decide, see how, wow, 3 to 4 weeks working on them daily. Yeah, I mean, it depends how long you're working on them daily, but I'm familiar. I feel familiar. So yeah, so you can kind of, this is just my system to decide how I'm going to build a house, how I'm going to, which parts I'm going to use. And this time I found it very useful just because, yeah, again, there's a ton of options. The other thing is this little trick that Tim actually shared when he, I believe it was in the video when he showed, when he introduced the collection. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That does take a long time. So yeah, this is just a swatch for all the window types. And I have found it more useful even than I anticipated, because not only that it shows me all the shapes and the options, it's really helpful to kind of figure out this, really the size of the cutout and how it looks, where you want to put it on the house. Yeah, and Tim showed it in when he introduced the village collection, and I do recommend doing that. And yeah, I just keep it inside that folder with the dies. It's very useful. So I think I'll move to the full screen now for the table. Hopefully you can still hear me because sometimes the sound cuts off. And here are the pieces that we're going to work on. So I did most of the die cutting ahead. And what you might notice, please let me know that you can hear me, by the way, just to be sure. What you can see, or you might notice, is that I have cut 2 pieces of each of the parts with the walls. And I cut only 1 piece with of the roofs. And I'll explain just because I like to add the texture. Okay, good. Thanks, Ekala. I like to add the texture, the details of bricks and or wood planks and so on. As an extra layer. Now, if I do wood planks, I would usually do the wood plank straight on the base layer, which I prefer to do in black. If I'm going to do brick, which is what I'm going to do this time, I prefer to do the texture on a completely different piece to okay, yeah, I'm assuming that you yeah, that's what I meant, Sue. I think that's the video I mean. Yes. I like to add the texture on a completely different piece because it both adds the strength to the whole structure, and it's just easier, honestly. And with the roofs, because I'm going to work with shingles, and the shingles are they add an extra layer, extra strength on their own. So I only cut 1 piece. I like to use black cardstock as the base because I feel like, it saves me time sometimes on like darkening up the corners if you need to. Often if there's like, I don't know, if there's like little gaps or anything with a black cardstock, it tends to kind of fade better. Also, I usually have lighting inside, and I feel like the black kind of, I don't know, it just feels like it works better. It just gives a cleaner result. So what you might see, so these are 2 pieces of the, for the base house. It's the house number 1, the first one. We also have this the fancy entrance, which is why you might notice that this little house doesn't have a door, because the door is here. And we are going to give, I think that I'm going to play a bit with this door and see if I can kind of give it a little different feel. We'll see on that. We do have the dormer piece, the tower, and the chimney. And these are the roofs, like I said. And you might notice that I've used all kind of weird windows here. And I'll talk about that in a bit as well. What I'm going to do now, I believe, is just a second. Ooh, I hope I may have forgotten to bring something. Oh, okay, yes. One thing that I wanted to do is I do want to have an extra piece, the sort of annex piece. So just a second. That I wanted to cut during the live. It's this piece that is in the flimsy little cardstock. So I'm just going to cut it out now. I have done most of the cutting ahead, partly because you really don't want to see me cutting all of this. It's not that interesting. And also because I have a very big die cutting machine, and it's a little hard to include that in the video. So I am going to cut the annex in 2 layers. I call it the annex. I think it was just called addition or something. I'll find it. Yeah, there it is. So, trying to make sure that I'm actually on the screen. Give me a shout out if I'm leaving it for some reason. So it's this little piece. You can see that, yeah, it just says addition here. I don't know if you can see the engraving. Yeah, this one here. And that creates a little addition to the side of the house. So we're going to cut it now. And we do want some windows. So does anybody have a preference for the window style? If we look at this type of the size of this, and this is, again, it's very convenient to kind of take actually this piece, an example piece. You can kind of see the size of the window on it. So we can either take, don't worry about it. Thank you for joining me. There is no, there's no worries with the getting a bit late. Where was I? Yes, deciding which windows we want. So we can either take like some of these small windows. Another option is to actually take this one and just put it on the side and have like this kind of big one in the middle. Oh dear. Okay, we have a visitor. Yes, come here, dear. Come on. Do you see this little paw here? That was Bastet. She's a bit of an attention seeker kitty today. Okay, let's get the windows. Oh, the beautiful windows. This is one of the things that I literally gasped when they showed it first, because my God, there's so many options. I think I'm gonna go with the small ones. We also have 2 of those, so we can put 2 little small windows. And I think that will be cool. Now, as you recall, I do cut that twice. So the trick, and this is again a trick that Tim showed, to cut it twice at the same size is actually to kind of stick the die down. And I will say, so this is one of the things that is different between the original dwelling, and I'm actually, yeah, I'll just put it down here more or less straight and at the windows while I'm trying to talk. Yes. Oh, you don't say. Oh dear. Estate, where are you? Oh no. A kitty wants attention there in the background. Okay, I'm gonna put one window here. Ooh. Trying to keep it more or less straight. And I'm actually having a thought of I might actually do this annex with wood planks. I think it might be cool to have the rest of the house with um, bricks, and just this part with some that's a good size. Let's just cut it. And this one with wood planks, and this is what I was trying to say when Bastet confused me. The thing with the new set, the collection, the village collection, is that you do have to be a bit more planned than you needed to be with the original dwellings, because the original dwellings basically had the windows and the doors placed into the die. So if you needed another layer, if you needed to cut the wall again and you wanted the windows in the same place, you could do it later, no problem. But with this set, because you're choosing where to put everything, which is awesome, to be clear, super awesome. But because you have to do it, you can't choose all of these options. You sort of have to plan ahead and make sure you cut all the layers that you want at one time. There's always a way to kind of do it again and fix things if you made a mistake. But the easiest way, which is again a trick that Tim showed, is to just use this double-sided sticky tape that holds the die in place, and then I can cut it now one time in black. And I'm just using my sidekick for this one. And once this one is cut, I can just cut it again in, I use the mixed media paper, just nice, thick, strong paper that I love. There we go. Where is my die pick? There's my die pick. I'll just get this little window bits out. So that's one. And now we need a little mixed media paper. Ooh. Yep. And yeah. And if anybody watching has any questions on the replay or anything, please do feel free. I did try to kind of think ahead of all the things that might come up, but I never can actually think about it, about everything. So yeah, please feel free to ask anything. That is the point. Okay, and yeah, now I can actually get it out. Using the die pick sometimes is very useful for that as well. Cool. So we have the annex now twice, and as you can see, it's exactly the same, and all is good. Happiness. Okay, I'm gonna just put these dies back in place because I don't know about you, but when I have dies in this size, I am constantly scared that I will lose them somehow. This is one of the reasons that I'm using the this tonic storage folder, because on top of being with magnets, where is the can put back the paper on the sticky tape and just keep it there for next time. It's very useful. Let's put this aside. Yeah. So with this folder, you kind of have, you have magnets, and then each magnet is in a pocket. And then the folder has a zipper around it to keep everything in place. And that makes me feel safer when it comes to tiny little dies like this. I'll just put everything back in place. There's a cat meowing in the background. Sometimes. Okay, so now we're going to finally. Hey, Christiana, how are you, dear? Finally start to build the base, and I'm going to just take all of the black pieces and put them here on the side, and all of these the mixed media paper pieces I'm going to put to the side. And I need you to let me know if you want me to put actually I'll just do it. I'm going to put some white paper here so you can actually see what I'm doing, because black on black is a little hard to see. Okay, I'll just gracefully move this out. Yeah, that works. Okay. I'll just take a nice big piece of paper here so you can actually see what I'm doing. Now, one more thing that I do before I start, and this is my thing, but I actually remove all of these guys from the windows. And the reason I do that is because, as you'll see, I add layers of how do you call it, like vellum and stuff on the window to give them a more realistic look / to diffuse the light from the tea light candle that I put inside. And I find that because I put layers on top, it's easier for me to kind of place the windows right when all of these little pieces are cut out. You really don't need to do that. The dies fit perfectly. The frame dies fit perfectly. You really don't need to do that. But in my case, I feel like it always, it just makes it easier. Also, it means that, like, you can see that I've used 3 different types of windows when I cut the windows. And one of the reasons that I could do that is because it doesn't matter. Because once I remove these guys and it's just an opening, then all of the square frames will fit on this. I don't need to worry about it. And that's convenient for me. Yep. So I just do that so I wouldn't have to worry about it later. And oh, yeah, it is very useful for not having adhesive showing as well. I do feel like, if you're doing an open, like if you don't put anything into the window, like no glass or whatever, if you're just putting the frame on the opening, then this actually is very helpful to kind of make sure everything is straight, to keep everything in place, to make sure that you have enough of a base to kind of hold the frame on, because they are very thin, very, very thin and delicate. But because I'm putting kind of, vellum and stuff on the window, then there is enough material there, enough support there for the frame, so I don't actually need to keep this on. So this is what I'm doing now. I think we're almost done. I believe. Yeah, because these are all the roofs. Okay, now let's start building. Now I'm trying to see, I think I did not bring, aha, there it is. I did bring my ruler. Because, yeah, with these guys, the folding lines here, you usually can very easily fold them. You don't need any help with that. But with the tags, and also sometimes, ooh, loud bike outside. I don't know if you heard it. It was loud for me. Sorry about that. Anyway, um, with the tags, and also sometimes if you cut the window very close to the folding line, yes, they do look like crosses, especially these ones. I mean, you can do like a very Christian slash Gothic shaker card with this. um, yeah, it's easier to kind of have some sort of support behind. I just use a ruler usually, and folding all these tabs. I do find that it also just makes it faster when I use a ruler, because you just know that you placed it in the right place, and you can just immediately basically kind of use quite a bit of force if you feel the need to. um, I have a tendency to use quite a bit of force, so yeah. With the little ones, I sometimes just use this edge and kind of, yeah. So that's this one. Next one. And just to, I'm pretty sure that you've already realized, if you didn't guess from the beginning, that we're not going to actually finish this house today. We are going to finish the base. I assure you that. But I'm going to continue with building this house next week. Same time, same place. I hope you'll join me again. And we'll work on like textures and stuff. I'm kind of, looking at the time. I don't know if we'll actually reach the walls. I hope so. I was planning to. But I'm kind of notoriously bad at planning time, like realizing how long something will take me to do. Anybody that watched me live ever knows that. Um, but yeah. So, there we go. This is the little annex house again. I don't know. I always call it an annex. I'm not sure how to call this kind of piece. I do like what it gives, like the detail that it gives the house. Yep. Go. These ones, I sometimes fold them a bit stronger. Okay. This one I'll just grab this edge. Yep. Okay. This is this. I think I never know. I don't know. What do you do? I sometimes feel like sometimes I fold everything ahead, or like, yeah, fold the folding lines ahead with everything, and sometimes I kind of start gluing in the middle. I'm trying to be organized this time because I'm doing it live for y'all. So, so I'm folding everything. I think that's what we'll do. Yeah. So this is the tower piece. Not entirely sure what's the logic of putting this tower on top of this little house. Do you know what? Sometimes you don't need logic. Just have fun. Oh yeah, me too. I always do that too, especially like these little tabs. I don't know why, but I always miss one of them. Yeah. This one's on the tower. I actually don't fold it too strongly a lot of times. The bottom, yes. The top ones, they need to grab the roof and they need to have. Oh dear. Um. Yeah. Yeah. So if I get impatient, um, then I start gluing. Usually, that's what usually happens. There she comes. Hello. This is Bastet. Um. I'll move to the Bastet. Do you mind? Thank you. She's always very supportive. Sorry about that, kitties. Okay, so yeah, like you can see, so with these additions, this addition of the kind of front door or front entrance, it's especially kind of challenging to do this without a ruler, in my opinion. It's also because the cardstock that I'm using is pretty thick. It's like 200 GCM, so it's pretty thick. You don't necessarily need it to be this thick, especially if you're doing double layer. But I like it. It's just, I don't know. It gives me good results, so I'm not arguing with it. That's basically it. And I do like to have. I'd like it to have some extra strength. The I like the base to have extra strength, and um, yeah. So that's why I prefer to use a thicker paper for the base. I would not necessarily feel the need to use that thick a paper for the texture layer, but I love working on the mixed media papers. So what can you do? So I get super extra thick, extra strong walls, and I'm never gonna complain about that. Cool. Okay, these ones too. Let's think. Yeah, we still have some more pieces to fold, but you know what? I think I'm gonna start gluing. What are you doing? Oh dear. Yeah. Cat jumping around. You're happy now. She's sitting on the top of my cabinet behind me and looking at the air conditioner straight in it. I think she's just looking for heat sources. I don't know. Shall we start gluing? Nah, let's just finish this one. There's a lot of little folds on it. I'll try to do it quickly because it's always, yeah, it's a little tiring, this part of folding, but it really does help. So let's do this. The little ones, there are actually ones that it's easier to do without a ruler, but I also find that, yeah, just folding it over the short edge of the ruler is very convenient most of the times. Okay, there we go. I'm still not sure where exactly I'm going to put this dormer, but I feel like having it, so we'll do. And I like using the Nuvo Deluxe Blue. It's, yeah, this sticker is always off at this one. I love Distress Collage medium, and I do have this the fine tip one, which is great, but I like having a little bit more time to maneuver, to move things around. And that's why I usually use the Nuvo Deluxe. If you're faster than me, I mean, collage medium is awesome. Let's face it. I use it for a lot of stuff. I just, when it comes to things like this, where I'm like, I need the angles to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist. You know, if I live with it, other people can live with it too. So I'm joking, but yeah. So it just, the deluxe glue gave me a little bit more time to maneuver things, and that's why I use that. If you want to make sure that your angles are perfect, the easiest way to do it is actually glue things down this, because then you can see that the bottom is all straight. So yeah, I'm just gonna put some glue here on this tab. And if you're making sure the bottom is straight on this side and on the other side, everything meets perfectly. Because, yeah, because it should. So, there we go. And that is the beginning of a little house. Ignore that. Um, yep. Okay. There we go. Just need to give it a teensy bit of a push here. Don't need to actually worry about it, because once you put the roof, it straightens everything. I attempt perfection, then frustration sets in and go close now. Yeah, definitely. Um, it's also one of those things that when you get into it, you can be so petty about the smallest things, and then you just like, my way is often that if I get really frustrated and annoyed, I leave it, and then the next day I come back and I'm like, I don't even see what was the issue anymore. A lot of times it's like tiny things that at the moment you see it and it just drives you insane, but afterwards it's not even, if I can't see it, no one will be able to see it. Paint or 3D. Yeah, that's true too. There's always a way to fix it. Also, I don't know, I have a feeling that you're like me and you tend to make things that are not necessarily, meant to be perfect. If you do vintage, distress, and so on, all those little mistakes are actually really, really adding to the charm of things. Doesn't stop me from being annoying and perfectionist, but it does work. Okay, so the roof for this house has this little gap here that is fit to slide right here behind this little entrance pit top thingy. So we can just do this. I am trying to make sure that it's 90 degrees in the corner. Yeah. And I hope that you can mostly see what I'm doing. I had to learn to say to myself, the mistakes are what makes the art. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And I mean, it's not it's not even about, I don't know, because the thing is that a lot of times, like, yeah, perfect things. First of all, I don't really think perfect things really exist, to be honest. But also, it just, yeah, the imperfections are the things that make it personal, that make it yours. Um, and a lot of times, in the end, it's the mistakes that I like the most because they make me think, they, even if I fix them, if I need to fix them, say, um, you know, the fixing ends up being the best part in the whole piece because it's unique and it's something that made me, think out of the box. And it's so much fun. Okay, so what I'm doing now is kind of playing around a bit with the roof just to make sure. So the edges to these sides, they stick out a bit beyond the house, and I'm trying to kind of more or less have them even. It doesn't really need to be even, just to be. I just want them to actually stick out of both sides, and at the same time, trying to make sure that the house has 90 degrees right here at the bottom. So, just holding it down for a second. There we go. And this little house is almost standing. Well, it is standing. Now we're going to add some additions. So, one thing that we can already add is this piece of the roof. That is this little guy here. I'm just going to use the ruler because, yeah, when you have like folds that are right on a tip, it's just easier to use a ruler for this. And giving it a nice strong fold. I hope you are able to pretty much see what I'm doing. It's really hard with the black. Possibly should have done it with a different color for this one. Sorry about that. But yeah. Okay, so this guy is just glued on these two tabs. So we'll just put some nice glue here. And if you are working with the Nuvo Deluxe, if you're probably familiar with the fact already, but actually, if I leave it for a few seconds, it starts to dry and then it catches faster. And in this case, it might be easier because you kind of want to do this quickly. What I'm trying to do when I put it in is try to see that it comes off, more or less 90 degrees in this angle here. It is meant to be that way, so it's planned to be this way. That's how it's designed, but it also sort of depends on how you're holding it. So I'm trying to do that. There we go. Just hold it a little bit longer, just a couple more seconds. Okay, I think so. We'll give it a second. I'll give it a second to dry while I can glue this tower together. Just glue on, and there we go. Oop. Slippery little dude. And with this guy, ooh. See now, But I didn't fold the edge perfectly here, so I'm just going to use my tweezers to fix that, because you do want this tip to be, well, the fold to be right on the tip. I hope you can see what I mean here. Um, Generally speaking, when because I'm working with layers on top of this, again, no need to worry that much about it, because the second layer will hide these kind of little issues. But did we say perfectionism? Yes, we did. Okay. Yeah. Just holding this for a second here. I'm gonna just grab this with my tweezers. Just give it a little squeeze there, because I can't really reach in with my fingers. Go. And I'm gonna let it dry for a second. I'm just gonna check if I have, yes I do, have one of those, how is it called, reverse tweezers, that are very good to kind of, grab hold to something like that and hold it while it dries completely. And we, in the meanwhile, can continue and add this little addition piece to the side of the house. So you might note that I have, I planned this ahead. So just a second, just reinforcing these folds more, well, forcefully. Yeah, so when I cut the windows, you can see that on this side, I left this part empty because I'm going to glue this part on it. And we are going to kind of unite the space inside afterwards. I'll show you that in a few minutes, I hope. Yes. My goodness, how time runs. So this little annex or side piece, side addition, it's really cool because the way that it's designed, its size, you can add it both on the narrow side and the wide side. It works for both this house and like both house bases, basically. And it really adds just a lot of character, in my opinion. I really like using it. Even if it is a little bit tricky to make sure that it's just tricky because I'm apparently 90 degrees challenged. I think if there's a syndrome, I have it. There we go. Yeah, tweezers are very useful to kind of give a little bit of a push to things if you're not sure it's sitting in the right place. Now I'm just standing it up to make sure that it's actually sitting in the right height. It does seem to be, yeah, it's working. That's good. Now we can add this guy. Just again, reinforcing a bit. Especially actually these guys here. And this one it fits perfectly right into the roof, so it's very easy to edit. And then we have a tower to add. I was just playing with the parts that I feel like playing and adding in. I'm not entirely sure if there's any logic to, a little house with a tower and I don't know. What else do I have? Yeah, a dormer, all of these pieces. But sometimes you don't need logic. You just need to have fun. Okay. So yeah, and I am just making sure this is, more or less centered and 90 degrees to the other wall. All those good things. There we go. It's already looking cute. Now, for this side piece, the roof. So I actually often feel like this roof is a little bit too long. Like it reaches too low on this side, in my opinion. So just gonna take my scissors, and I'm gonna use these gigantic ones. And I'm just gonna cut a little bit off. Of course, I did not do it straight, but there we go, fixed. And yeah. In honesty, this is more of a question of the height of the windows that you put in. If I put them a little bit lower, I wouldn't have an issue of the roof being too low, but I didn't. So, scissors, they fix things. I don't know how much you can. If I put it up here, I think you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. Note to self, don't build things in black on live. It's very difficult to see. I hope you can still see what I'm doing and everything is clear. Yep. That's the roof for this one. Now, let's add our tower. So, I don't know. Might actually skip the tower. I don't know if it feels right. I might just do a dormer and a little bit of, and a chimney. I have a little chimney to fold here as well. What do you say? Should I add the tower? Do you feel like seeing a tower on top of this house, or me? Just folding the chimney here. Okay, tower it is. But then, okay. I think that if we're going to put the tower, we should do it right, which means that we're going to make a hole in the roof. Because even if it's just a dim light, we want the light to reach the tower as well. So, let's decide if we want it. I actually kind of like it more on this side, oddly enough. And then we'll have like the chimney here. And the chimney will be right next to it. Just a second. I need to decide where I'm putting the chimney as well. Oh. Just grab this for a second so it will do nicely. Okay, let's decide what we're doing with this tower. Okay, votes. Should I put the tower on the farther side from the annex or closer to the annex? I am debating. Now I like it this side more. It's very hard to decide. Like here, here. Ah, there it is, light. Here or here? Far side, yeah. Cool, so we need to make a hole in the roof, people. I might actually make a bigger one and do some chimney effect later. So wait, no, I'm gonna put the tower actually closer to, and I'm marking from the outside. I will know that, when I'm cutting it, I will know to cut less. Okay, the chimney will be right next, I think, to the tower. I think that'll be cute. Whew. See, I thought that I will finish this super quick and we can do some other things, but this is me. I slow. Okay, I'm just making sure that there's room for the chimney and the tower. I might need to cheat a little bit with the tower. Like, yeah. Just basically, I'm folding this actually a little more than the original fold line, making this part a teensy bit shorter. It does kind of create a bit of a weird fold at the bottom, but we're layering on top of it, so no one's gonna see it. And this way, it doesn't it doesn't bump with this roof here, with this guy. So put this, and then the chimney will be right next to it. And yes, this is good. So, okay. Marking the tower and the chimney next to it. I'm also gonna mark. Which reminds me, since we're already like voting and stuff, would you like to see a winter house, a summer house, a spring house, a something? I don't know. Are we talking seasons? Do you have an idea of something you would like to see? I'm going to very gently use my scissors and just, oh, yeah, now, see? Just cut into the roof here and make a little hole here. Actually, yep, this. Ooh, trying to be very gentle about it. Still love winter houses the most. Yeah, huh? It's cool. Yeah. I mean, my idea was either do a winter house, ooh, summer house. And hi, Peggy. I didn't notice you before. So good to see you. Okay, I'll tell you what. The question is, because if we have a winter house and we have a chimney on a winter house, then we might actually make another hole for the chimney, so it will also have a bit of a light through kind of the smoke. If it's a summer house, it can have a chimney, but you're not really. You're lurking. That's cool. That's cool. Sometimes you know you're. Sometimes you watch a live in a lurking mode, and that's awesome. That's cool. Um, so I'm kind of. Well, we can always block it afterwards. Let's make a hole for the chimney as well. I feel like it. Teeny little hole. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I don't know Fahrenheit. I only know Celsius. I'm sorry. Um, Everything sounds very weird for me when I like in Fahrenheit. It always sounds either crazy hot or crazy cold. It never sounds like it's an actual temperature. Uh, sorry. Okay, so let's glue down this tower. So you can see now that the side, like the edge that is closer to me, trying to find the right angle. Nope, this way. The side that is closer to me is a tiny bit shorter, and that's going to be on the front. Fairy house. How did I miss the fairy house idea? That would be cool. Thanks, Carmen. Ooh, now I'm seeing that I've missed. Oh no, I've missed so many comments. I'm sorry, guys. We can do a fairy house as well. It can still be. I'm actually going to cut a bit into this part just to make sure that it fits. Yeah. Never be afraid to adjust your dies, people. That's what they're for. Okay. Now, put some glue here. Ooh. We'll glue these down. And then kind of, yeah, because I cut a hole in the roof, it's a little bit more tricky because, because we removed some of the part that was supporting it, right? I'm actually using my tweezers here to kind of make sure that it's pushed in the right place. And just while it's gluing, I am just making sure that it's approximately at least 90 degrees. Hey Debbie, ooh, New Zealand. Oh, I love New Zealand. I've been there ages ago, but I loved it so much. Yeah. What time is it in New Zealand now? I feel like, yeah, no, I will not even try to think what time is it because time zones are not my friend. I do not get them. Okay, so more or less glued down. And the chimney will actually, because I'm going to glue it right next to the tower, it's actually going to be a bit of a support, or an extra support to glue it down to hold it in place. So I'm gonna put glue on these tabs, but I'm also putting some glue right here on the tower. It might be a bit too much. No, it's fine. And yeah, gluing it down. Little chimney. And yeah, I feel like you're seeing me holding a black hole. But yeah, in a minute I can pick it up and show you a bit better. I'm just holding it down a bit. 8 a.m. Friday morning. Oh, day off. Day off is awesome. I hope that, I can help you have your, I don't know, are you having your coffee with the live? That would make sense at 8 a.m. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah. Mhm. It's always so funny for me with time zones. It's one of those things like you're aware of them, but it still kind of blows my mind every time. It's like, oh, it's tomorrow for you. Yep, it is. Okay, so these guys are glued down. I'll just show you now that they're right next to each other. They're sort of supporting each other. You can see that the glue is still a little wet, so I'm going to leave them around to kind of grab hold and dry nicely while we decide where to put the dormer. I think I will put the dormer here on this side. Um, this is going to be such a messy roof to make, just so you know. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Sue. Now, one of the things that in my opinion, with the dormer, it's actually easier to construct it first, like adding the roof to the dormer piece and then adding it to the house, just because you kind of want the roof of the dormer to work with the edge of the roof somehow, to have like a good angle with it. And it's just, I don't know, I just find it easier to kind of get the angles right and so on, if I'm doing it separately. Yeah. And I will say, like, every time when I build the bases of the houses, I have so much fun, like doing all these little details and like these quirky additions. And then when I do the roof, like the shingles on the roof, every single time, like, why? Why did you do this? Why did you do this to yourself? But hey, it's so fun. All good fun. Okay, so making sure everything is folded here. Pretty tiny. And now this guy, I will say, so I will probably, I would want to have light for this window as well. And what I would just do is, after placing it, I will kind of pierce through the roof to have a hole. But otherwise, it just, yeah. I mean, you can do it ahead. We might do it ahead, actually. We'll see. Okay. I'm just blabbing instead of working, honestly, and it's already over an hour. Really? Silly girl. Okay, so I'm putting the little roof here. And you can kind of see, I'll try to show you that. You see you have, okay, we'll glue it in a second. I'll show you the sides of the dormer here this makes the wall, the angle for the dormer on the roof. And this basically is supposed to continue the angle here on of the roof itself, of the rooftop that you add. Probably don't need to add more glue, but what the heck. So I'll try to show you when I'm doing it, but it's such a small piece. It's a little bit hard sometimes. So basically, yeah, if I'm holding it down, you can see that it's at least more or less sort of continues that roof line. I'm gonna just hold it for a second. Yeah, this is the part where I use my tweezers. Kind of push things down. Oh dear. Okay. No. I swear it usually works a lot easier. There we go. I think it caught. I'm not actually there. It caught. You can see that. Here, I'll bring it up. You can see that the side kind of continues the edge of the roof. And I'm actually gonna put it aside to dry for a second. And we'll do the roof of the tower because we need to give it a roof, right? Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's fold these two. We are going a bit over time. Thank you for staying with me. I hope that you're, entertained at least, or perhaps even found some tips. Next week we will do the walls for sure, and I think shingles would be also involved. I'm not gonna finish the shingles because the shingles take forever, but I will be able to kind of show you how I do them and at least start with them. I think. I hope. That's the plan. Okay, so this is our roof. I'm just kind of reinforcing the folds nicely. And put some glue on. Close down. Down, just again. When it comes to these areas when I can't really get in with my finger, tweezers are super useful. And after a bit, is holding down. So now we can, and as you can see, the tabs here, I did not fold them. What's the tabs? They're very tiny. That is indeed true. I don't know. Yeah, everything is very. Some of these bits, they're pretty small, but yeah. I don't know. Okay. Putting a nice amount of glue and just putting the roof on. And basically what I do at this point is just kind of go around and make sure that it's, like more or less straight, more or less 90 degrees and like sitting correctly. Oop. Because they never really do, but I try. And yeah, it's again one of those things that because I'm going to add shingles on top of that as well, If there is a bit of a weird angle, you can generally fix it. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it, but my neighbor is hanging a picture, apparently, because they're hammering. Thank you, neighbor. Wow. It's a big picture, or a lot of pictures. Okay. I think it's holding. If it will fall, we will reglue it. But for now, it's looking pretty straight. Not on this angle. It looks a little wonky, but I think it's okay. You're okay. Yes, you are. Good. Dormer, are you ready to find a home? Yes, you are. Okay. Last bit, my friends. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, it's not me. It's my neighbor. They're very, I don't know. That's like a lot of nails, isn't it? Oh, well. Now, soundtrack and what's not. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna glue this in. There. Apparently the picture is in place. Yeah, it's not the. I mean, it's 9:15, pretty much, which is pretty late, but not terribly, like not illegally late. Let's put it this way. So, ooh. Yeah, the dormer is always a slightly tricky piece. Because it's tiny. But again, it's one of those things also that one of the benefits of using the double layered wall methods. Oh, seriously, again? Fine. Very persistent. So there we go. You can see, hopefully, light. Haha, light. Sort of, maybe, angle. There we go. Yeah, I know. I know. It's really weird. I mean, yeah, it's very weird. But I mean, it's one of those things that it's like sometimes you're really unaware of how much noise you make. Because it's also like with, especially with walls and stuff, it's like, um, you know, I don't know. It really depends. Sometimes the hammering is not as strong as you think. But yeah. Apparently he finished his little house. And I think, my friends, that we have our little house as well. Obviously, very unfinished, but very little, cute little base. I'm going to try something. I think that actually sometimes, not for the boiling process, but to show you something black, actually having the black background is helpful because it just makes the camera read the light a bit differently. So maybe, yeah, you can see a bit better. So we have our little house. Thinking, yeah, I went over time a little more than I expected. So we're gonna finish with that. Gonna just, where was it? This one. Hello. I'm gonna finish with that for today. Um, it's kind of, I don't know. I already like it. It's quirky. It's fun. I think we do have potential of having a sort of fairy something or not, because of the little towers are always good for magic. Um, and yeah, next week we'll do the walls, and hopefully, I if all goes well, next week we will do the walls and start on the shingles. We're not going to finish the shingles live, because you really don't want to watch me for 3 hours putting shingles. It's not that fascinating. And then we'll have like more details. Give it a little yard or a base, or all the good things, all the fun things. Because yeah, details are fun. At least I think so. Thank you so much for joining me, for your patience. I hope that you enjoyed it, and we will continue. If anybody's watching this on replay and you have any questions or comments, leave it please in the comments. That was a weird phrasing. But and if you have any ideas on like what do you want to see, if you want to see what kind of colors, I'm thinking like kind of gray stone. I feel like doing gray stone instead of red brick this time. We'll see. And then yeah, roof, we can have wood, we can have slate, we can have, I forgot the name of the red ones, like is it ceramic? I'm not sure, but we can have red roof, we can have slate roof, we can have wood roof, we can have so many options. And if anybody has any ideas that you want to see, let me know. And I don't know. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. I will post a link in a couple of days, and I will hopefully see you there. Thank you, everybody, for joining me, and have a wonderful week. Yeah. Thanks so much. And bye for now.